Hey everybody, welcome back to CALLOUS Invitational 3 play-ins. This is Game 2 between Zomog and Altina, and Zomog won Game 1 pretty quickly, 24 total turns. Here's the second game. The players in the same positions as before. That's Zomog on the bottom, Altina on the top. It's a Scarm and a Heracross lead respectively, but an immediate Magneton switch met with Drill Peck, but if the Scarm had HP ground, which he may or may not have, he was outsped by the Magneton and promptly killed by a Thunderbolt, which did the full 100%. Blissey and Porygon 2 staring each other down. They're going to exchange status effects here, Toxic and Thunder Wave. Natural Cure triggering from Porygon 2 because he traced that on the way in. And it's a switch from both players. Celebi and T-Tar now staring each other down, both of which were unrevealed up until this point. Here's a Milotic switch, hidden power there, neutral against Milo, so presumably HP bug there. Gets out of the way to Blissey. Toxic going to miss, annoying but not a huge big deal there. Toxic going to connect on the second attempt. And Toxic back from Blissey. Milo, it might matter. We don't know if it has Refresh. It definitely has Marvel Scale in the meantime. And Blissey back to Starmie now. And Milo does show Refresh right out the gate. So no status effect for Milo. And Starmie here is going to threaten it with Thunderbolt. Gets a lucky para there. Milo does get Recover off. Might be a relatively bulky star. That Thunderbolt only did 44%. That does not seem like a huge number. P2 comes in, he'll trace Natural Cure again when doing so. Thunderbolt does even less to him, just 25%. Starmie switches it up for Ice Beam, just in case he gets a BS Freeze, or a crit I suppose, but crit would not have killed. But neither of those things come, and Porygon 2 recovers to 89%. He shows Thunder, as opposed to Thunderbolt, and that's going to miss on the incoming Blissey. Blissey goes Ice Beam now. There is a Thunder Wave on the Bliss, little paralysis here. Neither one too threatening to each other in this situation. Remember, Porygon 2 did trace the Natural Cure of Starmie here, so even though he just got hit with Toxic, he can just switch out and get rid of that, which he's going to do right now. Here comes Celebi, and it's a switch again. The exact same matchup we had before. T-Tar for Zomog, Altina with the Celebi. Focus Punch here going to hit something. Metagross, which is the last poke from Altina, previously unrevealed, is going to be on the bad end of a critical hit. We do see that Metagross has lefties, but he took 81% there, which is a big boy number. And Gengar gets shown for Zomog. He still has the last remaining unrevealed in the game. Levitate gets traced, doesn't look relevant. There's only one poke on the entire team for Zomog, the T-Tar. That can even learn Earthquake, though we don't know what the last poke is. Very well could just be like Swampert. That would be a pretty logical guess. Milo comes in. It is still paralyzed from before. Has not refreshed that away yet. Maybe he'll keep it for the sake of Marvel Scale. But he comes in safely on the Bliss Ice Beam. No problem. And he decides he doesn't like the para and just refreshes it away. Starmie staring it down now. Thunderbolt. Lucky critical hit for Zomog there. That was very relevant, unfortunately. Remember, the Thunderbolts are only doing approximately 44%, so Milo would have lived that no problem if not for the crit. And that definitely changes the game. All of a sudden, it's a 5-5. Altina looked to be in a pretty good position. Now, all of a sudden, it's pretty close. Altina might even be behind, because remember, that meta took a big hit from the critical hit Focus Punch, so a couple of key crits for Zomog in this game. The other thing is that the Magneton for Altina probably doesn't have a lot of purpose at this point. It did its job in removing Scarm, that is fine and well, but I don't know what more it's going to get done. We find ourselves with Blissey on Porygon 2. P2 switches out here, and Flamethrower going to get shown. So the Blissey set so far is Flamethrower, Toxic Ice Beam, presumably the last move is Soft Boiled, and there is the Leech Seed and Flamethrower exchange. That's going to keep Celebi very healthy, mooching off that very large HP pool of Blissey up to 51%. Going to find Leech Seed on T-Tar on the way in that we know has HP bug, so Celebi has to be careful here. Gets out of the way to Heracross. Rock Slide hits it, 64%, a big number. He's going to have lefties, and he's going to get some of that back with Leech Seed up to 53%. Here's Gengar. There's Hidden Power. It's obviously not HP Ghost. It's going to do neutral damage to Gengar, 36% on the way in. But Zomog pulls it back to T-Tar. He finds himself against the Toxic-ridden Porygon 2, who's now going to trace Sandstream, which does nothing. Rock Slide here, 29%. Thunder Wave on T-Tar could be obnoxious. Doesn't look like there's any way to remove that. We know the Blissey doesn't have Heal Bell or Aromatherapy. Goes Focus Punch here on the switch. Magneton comes in. Would have gotten decked by that, but a full para kicks in at a bad time for Zomog and keeps the Magneton alive. Heracross now switches into Earthquake. Takes it like a champ, only 30%, but he's pretty low from the previous hit. He's down to just 23% after the lefties kick in. Now Celebi switching into Swampert. It is the last poke for Zomog, as we suspected. Ice Beam there, 25%. Celebi can just recover here, but he goes Leech Seed instead. Ice Beam with a BS crit or freeze opportunity, and he does find the freeze. That is crippling for Altina, who is now in range to where he would die should he take another Ice Beam. He gets out of the way, and Zomog doesn't go for it. We find ourselves with Mag on Starmie here. Blissey switches in. There's the Thunderbolt from Altina. Finds the Paralysis on the way in. Can maybe sneak Heracross in here, but goes for Porygon 2 instead. And Blissey gets out of the way. We end up with Porygon 2 on Swampert, but the Porygon 2 did find the Trace on Natural Cure before that happens. So when he switches out, that Toxic will be gone. Gets a recover off, eats an Earthquake in exchange, finds himself at 48%, not a whole lot better than where he started. Pulls back to Magneton here, that's not going to live Earthquake. Zomog takes the lead now, 5-4. That does allow Celebi to get in and get a recover off. Cheetar comes in. Remember, it is still paralyzed, but we know it's packing HP Bug, so it is dangerous here for Altina. He's going to gamble on a Mispredictor or full para. Neither one comes. HP Grass gets him, but HP Bug gets him that much more back, and down goes Celebi. Zomog now with the 5-3 lead. Make that a 4-3 lead as Megahorn gets the revenge kill on T-Tar. Gengar comes in looking to clean up here. Heracross not going to be able to live a Fire Punch. I don't know that I like this switch. Porygon 2 could take the one Fire Punch, but he's got to be very careful on the follow-up. It's an obvious recover turn for Porygon 2. Gengar going for the throat. Does not find the crit. Porygon 2 actually does not recover. Instead opts for Thunder, which is risky business, but it connects. Gengar goes down, and we briefly have a 3-3, but the Porygon 2 is revenge killed here, and we find ourselves in a 3-2 situation. Metagross here against Blissey. Pulls it back. We have Heracross on Blissey here. Both low, 23 and 47% respectively. 2-2 game as Brick Break takes out Blissey. Starmie looks very dangerous and possibly able to clean it up here. Thunderbolt's going to take out Heracross. Altina needs Metagross to finish this game, or he is going to be out of these play-ins. Thunderbolt there comes up short. There's Agility. He's got a chance here, but he cannot one-hit KO Starmie here. He's going to need a critical hit. There's Earthquake, big damage, but not big enough, and the Thunderbolt finishes off Metagross. It is going to be the victory for Zomog, 2-0, and Altina is going to be knocked out of these play-ins. Haxie game there, some crits for both guys. Two important crits in this one for Zomog, unfortunately. Probably affected the outcome, didn't necessarily make it so Altina, who otherwise would have won, lost. I don't know that that's the case, but it definitely had a big effect on the game, and it's crappy when it happens that way, but that is just part of the game that we play. It is going to be a 2-0 victory for Zomog, like I said. He will continue on in these play-ins, and Altina, unfortunately, will be out. Guys, if you have enjoyed the CALLOUS Invitational thus far, there are so many things you could do to get involved. Check out the CALLOUS Invitational 3 Discord, link in the description. Check out the Pokemon Perfect thread for this tournament, also a link in the description. We are accepting donations for this tournament, especially for the main event when that begins. If that's something you'd like to get involved with, check us out on Discord, let me know, and we'll talk about how to do that. In the meantime, if you enjoy these videos, please leave a thumbs up, and most importantly, please subscribe. Thanks very much for watching, and there is more content on the way.